Welcome to Day 163 from the TheSovereignLight, a course in metaphysical spirituality. And my name is Reverend Maria Arvanitidis. These pages 450, 51, and 52 are excerpts from the book out of 852 pages. Make yourself comfortable in this moment of complete 100% of your presence is appreciated. And in this moment, take a few deep breaths in and out. When the soul can overcome its many incarnations and energetically, by clearing them, it can ascend as master. The feeling of these wings within the process of descending and ascending is only but a tugging at its heels. With resurrection and incarnation. Once the level of such mastery, the choice to stay within this planetary schooling of density or travel in other cycles of awareness can be made possible. And today's idea to filter through and take in Lesson 142. Say these words out loud throughout the day and see what you will get. Have this idea sink within the depths of your center and open your heart. To have it penetrate within your reality of awareness throughout the day and see what you get. Ready? And with a few deep breaths in and out. Whenever you're ready, most comfortable position, and say these words out loud. You can opt to have your eyes closed or open and just listen if you may. Find the truth behind deception and grasp the unfathomable, recycling from the soul within this consciousness. Find the truth behind deception and grasp the unfathomable, recycling from the soul within this consciousness. Find the truth behind deception and grasp the unfathomable, recycling from the soul within this consciousness. There are so many facets to awareness, and that can extend beyond this level of existence. Just breathe that in for a moment. How many can you grasp, and at what level? Leverage this. However, for the purpose of this read, the focus is on clearing into a heaven on earth awareness. Firstly, and just see what you can get. Perhaps you can decipher at what level you're at in this way. Do you need to clear more? Or have you, and now are you able to create rather than the clearing? As we clear, we can transmute, and with that energy, create. So we do. The enlightenment, and while still maintaining some level of density in connection to the system, that is Earth. With reflex, action, rah, to combine and organize into this thing called mindfulness and respond. How many slivers of the self have split off and into the many of its world from within the measuring of time? Years of many incarnations that formed the first nerve cell, and from it these things called neurons, held within the soul from so long ago, and to impress upon your awareness, developing reflex of its being, and from this organ to the next of being into movement. It was when the mind became inventive for the purpose to control, and with it recreating its very nature of evolving. Synthetic artifacts to stimulate. With artificial intellect, forcing an evolution to revolve around it. You see? Right there. The dog and the cat, the yin-yang, the angry tiger into action, to discipline itself into the mindfulness of responding through the practice of martial arts, perhaps, and become the master through synthetic stimulate and with artificial intellect, forcing an evolution to revolve around it, forcing nature into change and adaptation from synthetic, modifying methods, created disconnect to revolve. The evolution of its species, and well before its ripening, all creatures of the earth became its captive to this way of unnatural distortion, and to control the earth's very essence with. Find the truth behind deception and grasp the unfathomable, recycling from the soul within this consciousness. Taking all of nature and forcing it to bloom before its moment, rather than to appreciate the giving of these gifts to it. The corrupted world it faces is this backlash of having to resolve by facing it within resistance and conflict. Very crucial. It's a very crucial pivot to enlightenment. Having to possess rather than just be is where the ego mind has conquered. And for this primitive survival space to take up in its purpose the concept of this gaining time. Everybody's in a rush, and it meets with aggression and unintended harm. The non-nurturing circumstances of external separation will train into the mind sufficiency, and in this way is how the ego mind can manage how to compartmentalize, how to save for more time, becomes its level of energetic currency and passes down this information on a cellular level, then only to exchange again and procreate in the survival of its immortality. Information is this light, and how to use it is its knowledge. It is all around, externally and internally. It's the mana that we take in from the photonic light from the sun that feeds us. Memory can be elusive and travels fast within the ethers before it manifests into as real. The illusion is the stickiness and can be caught in mid-air before it forms. These chinks in the armor and from the nooks are like the cracks when they reveal some light into the knowing of its thoughts to be believable, and for all they are worth in buying it more time. What happens when this linear perspective ascends or descends into a curvature position? So it's an arc, a curvature position. So it goes back down. So what happens when this linear perspective ascends or descends into a curvature position? The game is over, and the buying power that it thought it once had will generate its review from the many cycles before it. Again, another incarnation of having to go back into and through this light, perhaps travel to the places and where it thought it could bypass from before. Find the truth. Again, this affirmation. Find the truth behind deception and remind yourself to grasp the unfathomable, recycling from the soul within this consciousness. From this awareness, all the unresolved emotions will have reached it, and in a way where it might have to once again start over in the very same game it had left off. Metaphysically, for its experience to witness that the body can still remain the same, and from this possibility of not having to recycle, rather it resurrects into a way of life, and that it can, in exchange of having to survive or just thrive. So that's can be questionable. So witness the body. Can it still remain the same, and from this possibility of not having to recycle, rather can it resurrect into a way of life, and that it can in exchange of having to survive and just thrive? Only after reaching a certain level can the glass break, and transcendence can occur from such expansion. The self must learn to focus into a frequency of least resistance from that level of vibration, and to continue on its baby steps into the heaven that awaits for it to open up to it. From this planetary vibration, the light will reveal the loving and nurturing connection. Otherwise, it will start to rain and cloud over. To enjoy the many senses and habit-forming nature, this experience of solid-forming density can clear enough and bring about the heaven or not. It's for us to decipher where we want to be in what reality. It was always seeking for heaven, rather. This experience to clear away and bring about heaven. Intended in this space and on this earth to provide, and within the making of it, glancing over at every crack and distraction to blind or cover over the light, to impose upon for us to lose the attention and pay it contribution and dull our light rather than shine to penetrate right through and reveal that has occurred. What has occurred? From every aspect of appreciation, and that combines to unify the self in its atonement, is the moment to enlighten as sovereign and authentic, to greet it from and with the kingdom of its world, rather than be on the take. Prepare in the accepting of the readiness to receive it, and this way all will open, including the self. This is the adventure of appreciation. Give gratitude. And do not take for granted this lesson. The purpose of it all is to grasp the value in connection and dissolve the other of control. Everything will unfold in perfect moment to the next, so learn to savor it rather than to force for any outcome and before it is ready to commence. And I will leave you with this today's affirmation. The truth behind deception, find it and grasp the unfathomable recycling from the soul within this consciousness. Thank you so very much, and I look forward to seeing you again for lesson 143, day 164. We're getting hail, we're getting everything. It's amazing the things that happen when things are revealed in their anger. It's a release. It's so beautiful. Thank you so very much. Bye-bye now.